Well, I'm Claudia Mohr, and I represent the Business Content Lab, which I recently sold to Transperfect Media. I started the business in a kind of a make it work moment. I was a musician and I had taken over a struggling music studio, and I ended up trying to find something to do with a recording studio that wasn't what everybody else was doing. I ran into an Afrikaans voice artist who used to do Afrikaans dubbing for the SABC in the 80s. And this gave me the idea of, dubbing. Why isn't this happening in South Africa anymore? We have so many languages. And I essentially started conceptualizing this idea of having a dubbing and language services company in South Africa. And that's how Content Lab was born. And I got my first big break with a Lebanese client, and they were looking for a low-cost English solution. So they had volumes of Persian content they needed to dub, and they needed to come somewhere where we had a very high quality spoken English language. I had never sold a business before, and I think in my mind that just meant that I was already going to be on the back end in negotiations, because I didn't understand the process, I hadn't been through it before, and I wanted to really feel like I was strong entering into these negotiations. And I had people on my side that were representing me who understood the process and what this whole journey looks like, because it is a whole journey. My idea was, Benchmark can take care of this logistics, and from a negotiation perspective, represent me strongly. Then I could worry about the emotional aspect of the journey, which is in itself a challenge, let's say. In one of our forums, we often get guest speakers or expert speakers, and we had Benchmark come in and do just speak to us about mergers and acquisitions. What does it look like exiting? And they just really impressed me in that. Benchmark, they have a really good understanding of how M&As work. So, and they have a benefit of experience, which is great because I didn't have that. So, they're a great sounding board for that, and saying, listen, this is typical, and these kind of wait times are typical, or that, and they can really help you get a good understanding of how the buyers are thinking. How are they thinking about valuing their business? What is their motivation? And the buyers that I was negotiating with, they had just done 35 acquisitions in the last 5 years, so they had a very particular process. They'd been through this a lot. They knew their stuff. So me coming into it, never having been through a process like that, and this was a big global American company, I just would have been on the back foot. So I don't believe I would have gotten the same result. To go through due diligence process is a whole thing in itself. And, if you're selling a business, you're still running that business at the same time. And I think that's the very important thing to understand. This is a new, heavily involved process that you're entering into for a medium term, that you're going to have to do alongside whatever else you were already doing to keep the business performing. And you need the business to keep performing. So that is why you need that support. So no, I don't believe I would have gotten the same result. I am happy with the deal that I did. I feel like we made a very good deal. I got the amount up front that I was looking for, and I think that was important for me. I was able to remove myself from direct involvement during the earn-out period, which was important to me. So there were some aspects that were important to me in the deal structure beyond price that had a lot of value for me, that I was able to achieve. Timing perspective, I'm very pleased. And from what my personal value pain points were in the negotiation, I'm very pleased. I'm enjoying the freedom to just design more of my own life now, because the business took up so much space and capacity. And that I'm really enjoying, I think, for the first time in my life, yeah.